guys, welcome back to my channel Girls Books and Bites. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Today I am going to do another book related video in which I am going to recommend 4 books to you that you can finish off in one sitting or one shot or just one single day. Now my personal reading speed is totally moderate. I am by no means a speed reader. I cannot read more than 150 books in a day, and that means if I have spent a good part of the day reading. So if you're anything like me, then you're definitely going to finish these books off in almost a single sitting. Anyway, without further ado, let's just dive into the video. The first book that I am going to suggest to you is this teeny tiny little copy of The Little Prince. It is said that this book affects and influences each person differently depending on how old they are, their life experiences, the way they have been raised. To me, it was kind of sad because I'm generally a very anxious person, and I became sadder and I was put into a rather pensive mood as I progressed through this book. But the real beauty of this book lies in the abstract and the magical realism. So this book is about the little prince who hops planets until finally he reaches the Earth. And on each planet he meets these different species of people, and it's a really simple story. It's a very simple narrative, maybe even boring at times. Now I'm not going to pretend that I could decipher the meaning behind the simplicity of the story, but I'm going to tell you this, that as I kept reading The Little Prince, I kept feeling sorry for him, and I just got sad. It just made me realize how difficult it is to remain simple anymore, or to just be. You know, to be crazy, passionate about these really silly, simple things and not have so many distractions. You have to remember though that this book was written keeping children in mind, so it doesn't necessarily follow a particular logic or is not clear. And the sketches in this book are absolutely brilliant. They are a little whimsical. The artwork in general is whimsical. The book is more based on the sketches than the text. And I have a feeling, should I decide to pick this book up for rereading again after a couple of years, I think I'm going to feel differently about this book. So The Little Prince is a thought-provoking little book that you can definitely finish in a single sitting. The second book that I'm going to talk about is Cinder by Marissa Mayer. Now do not go by the size or the thickness of this book. The language is absolutely easy. The story is completely entertaining. It's a total page turner. Even though this book looks kind of thick to be finished off in a single sitting, I guarantee you that you're going to fly through this book for the sheer entertainment quotient that it has. This book follows the story of Cinder, which is obviously a Cinderella retelling in which our Cinderella is a cyborg. I like to describe this book as a Full Metal Alchemist meets the Cinderella story. I am a big time sucker for Cinderella retellings, especially because that actually involves Prince Charming in most of the story, and I equally do not like the original Cinderella fairy tale. So anyway, Cinder is based in a futuristic / dystopian world where Cinder is a cyborg and is a property of a stepmom. There's also this strange kind of a disease that can take anyone. You could say it resembles leprosy, and it's very, very contagious. And then there's also this different race of lunar people who are basically people living on the moon, and they have the power of illusion. So in all, there are some really interesting elements that come together very nicely. There's also this mystery about Cinder's past, and the book is completely predictable. What the book does for you is just fill in the gaps of the major events that you already know are going to come in the book. The third book that I'm going to suggest that you can finish off in a single day is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. This book has been like such a page turner. I have been sitting at the edge of my seat for all the time that I was reading this book, and the language is brilliant. It is such an amazing book. Although this book is fast-paced for the most part, it takes some time for this book to actually take some grip, and you will spend some time in figuring out what's exactly going on because there are too many random things happening, especially in the beginning of the book. So the main protagonist is a female who is agoraphobic. That means that she has the fear of stepping out of her own house. She is a psychologist and she spies on her neighbors through her camera. Now one fine day, while spying on her neighbors like such, she sees something that she shouldn't have. Anna Fox, the main protagonist, lives in the house all by herself, and she keeps talking on the phone with her husband and her daughter who do not live with her anymore. So all these random events sort of come together as the book progresses. You also get really frustrated for Anna Fox because she has witnessed a crime, but nobody would believe her because of her mental condition. And the writing of this book is absolutely fantastic. There is a lot of monologue which can get tricky, but the writer has done a brilliant job. There is also also a ton of black humor in this book. So this book is sort of brooding and gloomy and dark, which means that it is the perfect season for you to pick this book up because rains. The cliffhangers in the book, the timing, the revelations are all done so perfectly in this book. It is so effective and it just kept me glued and I couldn't put this book down. The twist at the end was something that I could see, I could feel that it was there, but I couldn't quite catch it on time. So if you want a book that you can enjoy in this weather, this is your guy. The fourth book in today's video that I am going to talk about more and not so much recommend is Ghachar Gochar by Vivek Shanbhag. Don't get me wrong, it's a good book. It's just that it was different from what I expected this book to be. So Ghachar Gochar follows the story of a poor family that becomes rich pretty much overnight. I was expecting this book to be somewhat philosophical and emotional. Wasn't exactly that. To my surprise, it turned out to be somewhat creepy, and there is this constant sinister shadow lurking, and it's not there in the plot so obviously, but it's somewhere there in the writing of the book. Now there are some parts in the book that are really sweet and they remind you of simpler times, but that is not all there is to the book. This book is written in the form of anecdotes, like episodical, where the narrator tells us these instances that happen and that is how the story moves on. So what I'm trying to say is this book isn't a bad book. No, it's just an odd book. And you will definitely be done with this book in a couple of hours. It's the kind of book that you can't exactly say what you feel about it. You can't describe what you felt after reading the book, but you will definitely keep thinking about it. That's it. These were my 4 one-shot book recommendations for you. So these are the kind of books that you'll probably want to grab over the weekend or pick up if you have kind of a reading goal, a challenge that you want to finish. Have you read any books that you have finished in one sitting? If you have, let me know in the comments below. Also, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and please follow me on Instagram. I will leave the link of my Instagram account below, which is, by the way, Curls Books and Bites, just like the name of this channel. So until my next video, bye-bye.